Hello friends, today we will be talking about Mughal painting, and we will be putting special emphasis on the development of Mughal painting during the reign of Jahangir, and also we will be talking about the influence of Portuguese in the development of painting during this period. Alright, so before we go into Jahangir, before we go into the influence of Portuguese, let us get a background of what Mughal painting really is. Mughal painting is an amalgamation of various art forms. We see the amalgamation of the Persian art form, and we also see the influence of Indian art form in Mughal painting. You see, Persian art form is in itself influenced by the Chinese art form. Okay, so we see various art forms coming together, those forms creating the content which we call, during its mature phase, we call the Mughal form of painting, which also can be subdivided into two parts. And we will be talking, while we are talking about Jahangir and the influence of Portuguese and the development of painting, we will be substituting each for the other. But remember that there are two different categories of Mughal painting. Number one being the miniature paintings, and number two being the portraitures. Okay. So, in miniatures we see scenes of courtly scenes of courtly importance, such as suppose the meetings among members of the court. We also see scenes of hunting parties. Okay, we see scenes of battle in miniature paintings, and in portraitures we see the portraits of the various dignitaries during Mughal period, the Mughal nobles and even the Mughal rulers. We see portraits of those rulers, and though according to the subject depicted in those paintings, it can be divided based on the subject into miniatures and portraits. So, remember, it is based on subject. Okay, and also as the word miniature suggests, as the term miniature suggests, those paintings are in miniature form. Now, if you go to the National Museum in Delhi, you will be seeing many examples of miniature painting in the gallery being kept there, and we also see many examples of portraits, Mughal portraits, being kept in the gallery that is maintained in the National Museum. So, let us trace the history of Mughal painting first. We see that painting in general is not unheard of during the central Muslim rule in India, even though according to Shariat we all understand that idol worship or any kind of depiction in anthropomorphic form may be considered bidat, that is deviation from the hadith and the Quran. But at the same time, Mughal painting during Sultanate period is also not unheard of. Amir Khusro, remember this name, see, Amir Khusro talks about painting during the Sultanate period also. But the thing is, there are no surviving extant sources on which to base our account of painting during the Sultanate period. But then of course, we have many sources for Mughal period, and from those sources we understand that Babur himself, during his stay in Kabul, had patronized painters and painting, and also Humayun was a great patron of painting, and he is known for patronizing two very influential painters during his lifetime. Those are Mir Sayyid Ali and Khwaja Abdus Samad. So, these are the two important painters during the period of Humayun, and these painters were also incorporated into the institutionalized branch of painting during Akbar's period. We see that Akbar takes takes over this magnanimous institution of patronizing painting, and then he incorporates it within the framework of Mughal courtly day-to-day life by creating karkhanas for painting. Okay, and then Abdus Samad and Mir Sayyid Ali, they find employment in those karkhanas, and there are other employees too. We hear Abul Fazl recounting that out of the 17 painters that were being employed in the Mughal Karkhana dedicated to painting, there were about 13 Hindu painters also. So we see an eclectic group of painters coming together and creating beautiful paintings during the period of Akbar too. And the most illustrious example of a painting created, institutionalized paintings created during this period is the Hamzanama. So this is you see an illustrated book, Hamzanama, which contains many paintings created by by many artists who have come together to produce this beautiful book. And then this love for painting is carried over to Jahangir, and we see Jahangir even boasting that he is such a connoisseur, he is such a ardent devout admirer of painting, that we see him boasting that he can tell by a single look which painting is made by which artist. You see, he has tried to master the art of studying painting, and by mastering that art, he is saying that he now can not just guess, but now can accurately point out which part of a painting is created by which artist. Now you see, since I mentioned which part of the painting is created by which artist, now let me make it clear to you. Mughal paintings were not specialized paintings, in the sense that different parts of a painting were painted by different painters. Suppose there is a miniature of the emperor, so somebody would make the outline first, somebody else would fill in the color, and somebody else would make the facial structure. Okay, so different painters come together and make different parts of the painting. It's not unlike painting we see in comic books, though it is a very vulgar example, but in comic books also we see that there are people who first make the outlines, and there are inkmen who ink in the colors in those pictorial depictions. So we see that in Mughal period also painting was not specialized. But then of course during Jahangir's time, we see painting finding a place of great favor, but we see a deviation from Akbar's time. During Akbar's time, paintings were mostly miniatures depicting courtly scenes, depicting scenes of warfare, depicting scenes of hunting parties. But during Jahangir's time, we see greater influence on portraits. We see greater influence on portraits on greater influence on portraits of Mughal dignitaries, of Mughal nobles. We also see portraits of the emperor. We see portraits of the various progeny of the emperor, of the crown princes. We see portraits of all these people, and these portraits are now influenced by what can be called the Western style also. So during Jahangir's period, we see the Western style being incorporated in painting, in Mughal painting. By Western style, we should understand that it is a style based on perspective, a style which has developed from the classical age, going into Renaissance, and then coming into maturity during the late medieval period. A style of painting which pays great attention to realism, and a style of painting which pays great attention to perspective. By perspective, I mean is the distance between things depicted in a realistic forms. Suppose in a painting, a pillar is standing behind another pillar. So the depiction in Western Western form of painting, the depiction takes cognizance of the distance between those pillars, and then puts those pillars in perspective, puts those two subjects, the subjects in a painting, in perspective, as we are akin to see with our own eyes. But that kind of influence had been missing in Mughal painting. But during Jahangir's time, what the Portuguese influence does is bring in the idea of perspective. But although the idea of perspective being brought in to Mughal painting, it does not get too much attention, and it does not develop into a very fine realistic form, okay, because perspective always lags behind in Mughal painting, and this is primarily the most important influence of the Western style which was brought into the Mughal court by the Portuguese. The influence of the Portuguese was present during the period of Akbar also. The very first paintings that were gifted to the Mughal aristocracy, sorry, not aristocracy, to the Mughal emperor, were those which were given by the Jesuit priests belonging to the Portuguese community, okay. So, there were influences, Portuguese influences before Jahangir also, but Jahangir, he incorporates these influences into the art form of painting, and as we have already said, he is a great connoisseur of painting, and he also paid greater importance and greater he also put greater emphasis on portraiture. All right. Now, let us talk about the subjects of painting. The subjects of painting, as I have already talked about, the subjects mostly were courtly scenes, hunting parties, and mostly of portraits of dignitaries. But at the same time, during while painting all of these scenes, there was some attention paid to the natural forms, the natural aspects of one's existence also. Some attention was paid to nature also, because while you are painting a hunting scene or while you are painting a scene of warfare, you will you are compelled to depict some scenes of nature in those paintings, but those those scenes always form the background, not the foreground. The foreground, the more influential element in Mughal painting always used to be the living aspect, that is the personalities within the painting. The human aspect used to be the most important aspect of Mughal painting, okay. So, this in a nutshell is how Mughal painting developed during the Mughal period, and how it reached a stage of great maturity during the Mughal period. But then, of course, during the time of Shah Jahan, we see greater emphasis being paid to architecture and not painting. So, painting lags behind during the reign of Shah Jahan, and then by the time of Aurangzeb, who is influenced by ideas of pious living, and who is under the influence of the ulema, who is under the influence of Shariat, painting is altogether discouraged. So, painters of the Mughal realm, they disperse into the provincial kingdoms, and other forms of painting, just as a Rajasthani form of painting, it develops because of the dispersion of painters from the Mughal realm into the other principalities or the regional states. All right. So, this is how painting during Mughal period proceeds. And before I leave you, I would give you a name, that is Mansur. This is one important name which you have to remember. Mansur is one of the foremost painters in the court of Jahangir, and you will have to remember these two names, Mir Sayyid Ali and Khwaja Abdus Samad. These are important painters in the court of Humayun, and also they are important painters when it concerns the period of Akbar. The name of a book that you have to remember, the important book that the name of which you have to remember is the Hamzanama. Okay. So, with that, I leave you today, and I hope you guys are working hard and studying hard. I hope you guys do good. Thank you.